News at 5 starts now.
Some Valley firefighters on a search and rescue mission in Fort Worth where those terrible tornadoes hit are back home this evening. We were at Sky Harbor Airport when they got back from Texas. The real workers here, the two dogs, Everest and Rio. This was their first ever search and rescue mission, and you can see they're excited to be back home. The dogs didn't find anyone trapped in the rubble from Tuesday's tornadoes, but 4 people did die, and the dogs' handlers couldn't believe what they saw.
I was just amazed at the devastation. You know, we saw it on CNN, and the outsides of the buildings looked like they'd taken a lot of the hits. But just every square inch of the high-rises were just devastated inside. It was really amazing what happened.
John Dean says Rio is a little camera shy, but says the dogs did a really good job. Everest looks a little ready for some R&R.
Dogs help rescuers in Fort Worth, Texas search through Tuesday's tornado damage. News 15's Christina Estes was at Sky Harbor this afternoon, where the canines captured plenty of attention.
Most of the passengers aboard American Airlines Flight 487
usually with a vibration, they just fall asleep.
didn't even notice the dogs until they landed.
Isn't that adorable?
Then cameras started clicking, home video rolling, and babies petting.
This is a good doggy.
Her name is Everest, after the mountain.
She's so pretty, and so is that mountain.
Everest and her trainer, Renee Shannon, teamed up with Rio
And he's a 3-year-old lab.
and his trainer, John Dean, in Fort Worth.
So it was just, everything inside was like a bomb had gone off.
Everest and Rio searched for survivors inside a 9-story office building and a chocolate factory.
And so it was really unsafe to send the workers in to do the search there. So that's where the dogs, being lighter and more agile, could go in and...
They found no survivors in Fort Worth, but this home video shows them sniffing for stage survivors while training here in the valley. The dog search yard's filled with building debris.
It's called a bark alert, and they're trained to just stay right where they find the scent and bark for as long as it takes for us to get there and reward them or uncover the victim.
And here's the reward.
But they'll go across the rubble, they'll go down into tunnels, they'll do basically anything we ask them for, just for the toy. It's unlike a human where you, after a while, you've had enough of going to work and you need a break. To them, it's play.
The play continues tomorrow with another training session. With photographer Danny Hubler, Christina Estes, News 15.
They may be the only ones who can find
They
it.
have those noses. We're talking about rescue dogs, and they train right here in the valley. At least some of them do. Well, we buried Julie Staley Rodriguez and put these dogs to the test. Coming up next. 2 of the Arizona connections to the catastrophe in Texas return home. 2 dogs who searched some of the damaged buildings there looking for any victims. Well, tonight we really put them to the test. Julie Staley Rodriguez is live with the story. Julie, you really got buried in your work tonight, didn't you?
Oh, that's right, Troy. You know, when disasters like tornadoes occur, a team called Arizona Search Dogs goes to help look for victims in the rubble. And this is one of the places that they practice. It is a demolition and recycling company. Now, the team hid me inside of a small hole in that huge pile tonight and let one of their dogs look for me.
You ready to go to work? Are you ready?
Rio, the chocolate lab, just returned from Texas, where he helped search the rubble of 2 buildings looking for possible victims from this week's tornadoes.
2 of our dogs got mobilized yesterday at 3 in the morning.
The dogs came back today. Mission accomplished. They found no victims. But if there had been people trapped alive, they would have been lifesavers. Tonight, members of Arizona Search Dogs, the volunteers who train and keep these animals, gave us a very realistic demonstration of how they do it.
All right, so go in feet first.
They actually hid me under giant pieces of cement inside of a hole in this huge pile of rubble.
Wave, Julie.
We're just going to cap it, okay? You're all right. Nothing's going to fall on you.
They covered the hole with more cement. Meanwhile, Rio, the dog, was about a block away. They let him loose on the other side of the rubble pile, and he went looking, not necessarily for me, but for anyone alive under the cement.
Somehow they can differentiate between someone that's deceased and someone that's living.
He found me in 1 minute. I rewarded him with a toy.
Good job.
The trainers say when dogs find someone who is really trapped, they still get a reward.
just we have a toy in our pouch and we'll toss it to them.
A simple task for the dog. Searching this pile would be much more difficult for humans.
In the case of a pile this big, with listening devices, cameras, if someone's unconscious, it would just be physically impossible to identify their location in a reasonable amount of time.
The team practices here about every 3 days. The trainers are all volunteers, and many are local firefighters, Troy.
Great demonstration, Julie. That dog made quick work of finding you. You said less than a minute?
It was exactly a minute. We timed it.
Wow. From how far away? You said about 100 yards away, something like that?
Well, when I was hidden in the beginning, the dog was about a block away, and then they brought him up probably about 100 yards away from me, yes.
Wow, impressive. Julie, thank you.